Good evening, friends. Don't forget to check out all my links down in the description below the episode. You'll have things like my mentorship program. You can check out some of my sweet merch if you're into wearing things that are quite different. And if you want to be a guest on the podcast, certainly check out those links. My book is on there as well. So you can see the links to the specific guest. You can see the sponsorship, episode sponsorship links down there, as well as my personal links. So check them out. And don't forget to leave a review for the podcast. It's super helpful and it's free for you to do. Let's get to the podcast. Welcome back to Just Some BS Podcast. We have Hank back on the channel. So Hank from Outer Rim Travels, outerrimtravels.com. Hank is my go-to travel planner whenever I do Disney / Universal / Disneyland / Disney Cruise. Anything of
Disney Cruise soon, I was going to say.
Any of those things, you are the person I go to. But we are here today to talk about Universal Epic Universe. As you can tell, he's been there a couple of times.
Yeah.
So we're going in November. So I want to get the inside scoop. It opened beginning of May?
On May 22nd.
Okay, May 22nd. So end of May.
I was there opening day. It's crazy.
I'm sure it was. So we're going to get into great, the good, the bad, the ugly, a little bit of everything. I want to make sure I ask enough questions so I feel prepped. Now, what's interesting, and obviously we've talked about Disney quite a bit on this podcast in multiple forms, but the Universal, this is the first time I've been here since I was 11 years old. So this is going to be like Disney was, like 2020 when I went. And you sent us to the Star Wars hotel. So this will be a very similar thing. So we're not going to go to the old parks. We're going to talk only Epic Universe today. But yeah, I may drop in some other weird stuff as well. So
sure.
Thank you for coming back on, first of all.
Oh my gosh, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
it's a pleasure.
Okay, so number one, first impressions. What hit you hard at Epic Universe? You got to preview the park during the Traveler Planners Day. What was the show-stopping moment that made you stop in your tracks?
That was super nice. That actually Universal called me up and said, we're going to give you a travel agent, sneak peek. I was like, what? I guess I've been booking enough Epic that, they noticed. Yeah, it was really nice to aside from the fact it poured half that day.
Oh, no.
But just really nice we stayed at the Helios Grand and we're able to walk in through the park through that dedicated entrance, and completely different experience than staying, at the other parks. But my first impression, to be honest, and I kind of hate to say it, but it really felt like walking into a Disney park. I don't want to compare it to Disney, but as you know, Universal feels more like, your traditional kind of theme parks. It wasn't until the Wizarding World, they launched that it felt like you had that level of immersion.
Sure.
That Disney's kind of had since the beginning. This is that times 10. So every world, not only as you walk in through that portal are you transported to that world, but everything from the attractions, the stores, the foods, you're completely immersed in that world. And I just loved it. I loved it. And all the portals are so different that, if you spend your time inside each world, you really get a sense of just how different they all are. I can't say enough good things. Really, really loved it.
Well, that's really exciting because that's probably one of my favorite things about Disney World. Like that, they're really, I love Epcot because you get to, how many worlds do you get at Epcot? Literally.
Exactly.
How many? Okay, so that's super exciting. I don't know if I have any questions on Helios, so I'm going to ask them now.
Okay.
How nice. I don't think I gave an appreciation until you said it right now that having your own entrance is kind of like the Disneyland hotel where you're walking directly into the park through the doors of the hotel.
Yes. And cleared security, like that. The benefit also is you get to enter an hour before everybody else. So if you're into that Harry Potter and you want to see the Battle of the Ministry, you can go straight there. And you'll be in line before the folks from the front make it to the back of the park. Because that is that one and Monsters, the Dark Universe are the closest to Helios. So if you're staying at that property and you line up early, cross security, boom, you can hit Battle at the Ministry first thing. Unfortunately for us, it went down. That's a whole other issue. Yeah, so that's a whole other issue. And I know they've still been struggling a bit. It's very involved. If you remember Rise of the Resistance, how much early on that used to crash. I think the first time I rode Rise of the Resistance, they walked us out and they gave us a little ticket to come back because same type of thing. Yep.
Yeah. So so that insider tip there, if you're into the Dark Universe or you want to hit the Ministry ride, which is quite tough and it's not part of the Fast Pass setup, staying at Helios is a very quick way to beat the, I don't know, 100, however many feet, yards you got to go to get to that portal from the front.
Yeah, you don't get in because it's not one of the Wizarding World is not one of the portals that opens early. So you'll wait kind of outside.
Gotcha.
But you can at least be in that line before the masses, start to line up there. And I've been telling people, don't worry about that one early on. Try and do some of the other ones, like Super Nintendo World, because you can. That's another one that's not included in the Express Pass, the Minecart Madness. Head over there and knock some of that stuff out, and then later in the day, the Harry Potter stuff calms down a little bit because it's madness first thing in the morning.
Okay, that's really good to know. So never start there, and hopefully catch it later in the day when it's open and running and you're good to go. That's really good. I was really surprised that Helios wasn't more expensive to stay at. When I watched your tour review on YouTube, it looks beautiful, but I'm thinking the outside's gorgeous. The inside looks nice, but the rooms look nice, but pretty basic for me. And I'm thinking maybe
standard.
That's why the price point was probably where it was at.
Yep. Agree. Rooms are nothing super fancy, except the kids ones with the How to Train Your Dragon. Those suites those are really nice. And maybe the Celestial Suite, things like that. But the rooms are very, very basic. It felt actually like Stella Nova or Terra Luna.
Okay.
And those are way cheaper than staying at Helios. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I got lucky because I paid during that time with a Florida resident discount. It was just maybe like $380, something like that.
Oh, that's
now, as we're looking into the holidays, I have folks paying $700-800 a night. So they've kind of realized, we can make that puppy a little more expensive, and in the holidays,
it's almost then you're getting into beach club territory then with that price.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it wasn't when you did the walk around. I was like, okay, this is nice, but it's also like kind of not my style. It was very, very modern. Maybe very like it felt a little medically, and the food area in the bottom, kind of in the lobby area, wasn't too impressive. But they also have that bar that I really want.
Yeah, Bar Helios is nice. Yeah, up there. No, but you're right. It feels, even though it's not a food court like at Stella and Terra Luna, it feels kind of like that. Just this long space, for dining. Doesn't really feel like a nice restaurant, like say the Grand Floridian, Narcoossee's or something like that. It's definitely not like that. But the whole thing is you walk right into the park. So that's kind of the,
And the other perk with that being right up against the park, and the reason we want to go to that bar is the bar overlooks literally the park.
Yes.
Which is
beautiful
amazing.
at night,
I'm
for
sure
the
at
fountain shows and all that. Yeah, all that stuff. No, but another cool thing, and like I said, it rained all the time. We could just jump into the hotel real quick, maybe get changed, freshen up, relax a little bit, and you're right back in the park. So staying across the street, you still have to walk maybe 6-7 minutes over to Stella Nova. The other one's further because we also stayed at Terra Luna and walked over one morning on opening day. We stayed at that one, and that was quite a walk. It was about 20 minutes because you kind of have to take the back street, walk alongside Stella Nova, and then cross over. It's kind of like, you're walking around the hotel completely. Yeah, it's a little strange, but with Helios, you're right there. So super nice.
I mean, to be fair to everybody, if you are listening, Helios is the great option if you're going to spend a lot of time in Epic in the new area. It's not like you and I discussed. One of the main reasons we didn't stay there is because we are spending a couple of days in the other parks, and that would be a hike to get to everything else.
And you get your Unlimited Express over there, which Helios doesn't have Express, and they're saying it never will because that was they're saying, from what I understand, that was a contract with Lowe's in order to kind of, when they started up with Portofino, to get folks to stay at the Universal hotels. They said, that's a nice incentive. We're going to give them this Express and they'll, come over and stay with us. But it's not built into the new ones. So doesn't look like Helios will ever have that option. Yeah. Still for 2026, I'm already selling 2026. And yes, the Express Pass is the same as it looks today.
Okay.
You can get a 1 day, or you can get 2-3 days, and including the other parks. So next year you get to choose.
Okay,
for
cool.
The Express.
Celestial Park versus Main Gates. As the stunning gateway hub, Celestial Park combines beauty and spectacle. What elements, like the fountains or coaster reveals, set it apart from any park entrance you've seen?
Just so pretty. It's it feels very theme park, lots of greenery, lots of, I was just sadly at the closing of Rivers of America, and there's something to be said for walking into this just beautiful natural park
Yeah.
and seeing they have a whole little story between Luna and the god Apollo, and so all of that, they created a real nice backstory to Celestial Park, which is really nice. And yeah, of course you see the big coaster, the Stardust racers in the background, and the carousel as well, Constellation Carousel. It's just a very nice hub. It feels really small. You can walk the entire length of it, walk down to the Helios and around, and it doesn't feel huge like walking through Magic Kingdom. That's why it's kind of deceiving. My friend was like, gosh, this park is so small. But it's when you enter the portals, then everything kind of opens up.
Interesting.
Because How
So
to
they
Train Your
almost have it
Dragon
like-
is massive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, everything's closed off. So you don't see anything while you're
Wow.
in Celestial Park, really. And once you enter, then everything really opens up. The Dark Universe does feel a little small because from what I understand, they were missing an attraction that I guess didn't make it for the opening, but they're already talking about expansions, to that one. So we should see some stuff open in the next few years at Epic.
That's really cool. I know I've seen lots of obviously videos about walking through the portals and things like that. And that's the one thing I think you spoke very nicely about in your review videos was like how different each of the portal worlds felt and how they really encapsulate like every little detail very much Disney-esque when you're going through those portals.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so Stardust Racers versus other coasters. So this dual launch comet themed coaster reaches 62 miles an hour with inverted spins. How does it compare to other big launches like Hagrid's or Guardians when it comes to ride experience?
Well, I love Hagrid's. I love it. I haven't been on Stardust Racers. Can you believe it? That's the one thing we didn't get to do because we got rained out. So toward the end of the day, it started raining. Didn't make it, but it's going to be my first thing on the next visit. From what I hear from other guests and things, that VelociCoaster is still a little more intense.
Okay.
So it's kind of, there with VelociCoaster, but people tend to enjoy VelociCoaster more for the thrills and probably that one crazy, top hat, which I loved. I love that feeling, seeing the park, from up there on VelociCoaster. But yeah, I haven't done it yet. I'll be doing it definitely next trip.
Okay. Have you heard any comparisons with it with Cosmic? Like in the sense of it, like Cosmic Rewind for intensity for Jenny is like right at the edge of like almost not being able to do it. So I heard VelociCoaster is way more intense than Cosmic Rewind.
Oh, definitely. Definitely more intense. This one, it's probably as fast as VelociCoaster. I haven't heard it compared to Guardians.
Okay.
The one that Curse of the Werewolf that has the spinning carts.
Yeah.
They compare that a little more to Guardians, but those are not controlled. Like on Guardians, they move you to face certain elements.
Yeah.
These are based on weight.
Okay.
So I was riding with like a 12, 13-year-old little girl. So you can imagine that thing was spinning like crazy because I'm the heavy one, and it did not stop spinning. I felt bad for her, poor thing. So yeah, that one is just kind of free for all. And that's why we didn't ride it the second time on opening day because my friend Lee gets really sick on spinning things.
Yeah.
But I mean, I liked it and I'll definitely do it again at some point.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely spins you more than Guardians. That's Curse of the Werewolf. And it's super short. Does a couple of spins around, maybe not even 2 minutes, I don't think.
Okay.
But as far as Stardust, I am hearing that it's closer to VelociCoaster than Guardians.
Cool.
So yeah, if she doesn't like Guardians too much, that might be a little too intense for her.
Okay.
Stardust Racers, yeah.
I know both tracks are a little bit different. Do they have the same concept? Like, do they both? Because Stardust coasters, you do a flip or a roll or something, right? I think.
Yeah, that's Celestial Spin at the top.
Okay.
They say the green side is a little more intense.
Okay.
Than yellow. So if you do want to try it, maybe start with the yellow to test it. And I plan to do them both. I remember back in the day with Dueling Dragons, I used to love that one. We'd get off the hot and then do cold because they were really different, those back in the day. So this is supposed to be kind of like that.
Okay. Excellent.
The Stardust Racers.
Unfortunately, I did the orange of the Mars ride at Epcot because
I
was thinking... I was
I haven't
thinking
done that in years.
they warned me 1,000 times, and I was like, nah, I'll be fine. I got in there. It was the worst experience of my life. I hated it.
Yeah, and a little claustrophobic.
Oh, it was horrible. It was me.
Yeah, it's like right
a
there in your
mom,
face.
Yeah, and two teenage daughters, and I think my eyes were closed the entire time. They're like, hit the button. I'm like, I don't know where the button is. Yeah,
you know, it's funny because back in the day when that opened, I was interning at Disney. So I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I was working on the cue music for that attraction.
Oh, get out.
And yeah, it was really cool. So I got to just piece some of that stuff together. I worked in the sound engineering department. That was my degree.
Yeah.
And sound recording. And we got to work on some of that cue music. I remember when it opened, it was so intense that cast members were puking coming off of it because the G's were just way too intense. So back during that testing phase, they had to dial it back a bit because everyone was getting sick on that thing. And that was both of them. Because back then the green was as intense. Also, people were getting sick on that. I haven't done it in years.
Nope,
because,
I will never do it again.
Yeah,
I hate it.
It makes me a little sick.
Well, and like the 3D is like 1986 3D, so
right? Yeah,
right in your face too.
Yeah.
That's one I closely.
Now, as close as I get to that is Space 220, and I go, I go to eat, and that's as close as I get to that awesome ride. Yeah.
Universal's dedicated Dark Realm features classic monsters, creepy lore. Does it deliver genuine scares or lean more into like immersive theatrical experience?
I didn't feel scared, but then again, I didn't walk around or roam at night, so it's supposed to get creepier at night. The ambiance is nice, but during the day, there's just something missing because I think that land is made for nighttime. So I definitely want to experience that. At night. The attraction itself, it can be scary for some folks because you do have all the monsters are in there and some of them lunge at you, and sometimes the ride itself moves forward, toward them. I rode with one of the agents from Outer Rim Travels, Alexandra, and she said that she was afraid going in that it was going to be too scary because she's kind of a chicken.
Yeah.
And when we came down, she said, it wasn't that bad. So I think I was making it up to be more scary than it turned out to be. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't like scary things. And actually, our friends were talking about doing Halloween Horror Nights next year.
Oh, I do it with the lights on. I do the, what's it called? The behind the screens. I love that because they walk you through the houses with the lights on. You take your tour. Yeah, it was so cool. And they show you all the detail that goes into these houses that you don't even see because you're in the dark and people are attacking you. You have no time to look around and see all this stuff, but they put a ton of detail into those houses. Yeah, I'm going to do that again this year, the behind the screens.
Okay, that's a great option.
Yeah, at night, no.
I'll have to find something else to do.
Yeah, we took my sister one time. She had like a panic attack with the chainsaw guys that chase you. We had to take her out of the park, and she's never done it. She lives in Vegas, and I told her, Heidi, they're opening Horror Unleashed in Vegas. She's like, you're going by yourself. You're welcome to stay at my house out here in Vegas, but I am not stepping foot inside that place. I said, I figured.
Yeah, that's 100% me. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I hate being scared. Okay, that's good to know. Then it's not going to be Haunted Mansion. It'll be more than that, but
I'd say a little more intense than Haunted Mansion because it's not goofy. It's definitely not silly and fun, but I wouldn't say it's like super scary.
You mentioned about it's a nighttime portal. What did you see extreme differences between daytime and nighttime with the Epic Universe itself? Because I know there's lots of lights on the floor, and it looks like it's really, really different at night.
The lighting package is intense at night. It's so beautiful. Yeah, I got to see one of the fountain shows, which was really nice. I didn't get to film it. I want to do that again. I want to do more nighttime in Epic, but definitely it feels like it really comes to life at night. Completely different from the day. It's a different experience. Yeah. From the daytime.
So that's one of the issues I have with Disney World is I want to see Pandora at night.
Exactly. And they closed that park so early.
Like, why can't we get that? Is there not enough lighting like throughout the park maybe?
Think it never came back after the pandemic. I think it's more of a staffing thing where they don't have enough folks to cover in the evenings. And they're fine opening that park early and closing it early. Also for the animals, they can go to sleep early. But yeah, I think it's more of a staffing thing. And hopefully it'll start to, stay open a little later also. Because I used to love Pandora at night. And yeah, it's a shame.
Because they have all the glowing stuff in the concrete throughout that whole
No,
section.
it's
of
beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah.
that land is beautiful at night. Yep.
Never seen it.
So Epic isn't opening, staying open too late. I think they're closing at about 10, the latest. So 9 or 10. It was up until 10 when we were there, which is still nice because at least you get some nighttime. And if you're in line when the park closes, you'll get to ride. So they don't throw you out of the line, or they close the ride off. But if you're in the queue, you'll get to ride even if the park is closed, which is pretty nice.
Oh, because I read an article that says that they weren't doing that. They weren't taking that from Disney to allow you to ride even if you're in line. Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
you're able to, as long as you're in the queue. Yeah. Well, they do close if the park closes at 9, that queue will close at 9. But if you're in the line, they'll let you do Stardust racers until, that queue finishes up. Mm-hmm.
That's cool. All right.
We did the one in How to Train Your Dragon at night, and it was beautiful. The Hiccup Swing gliders. So cool to see that land at night from that coaster. Yeah, that was really nice.
That's
and
the
that
one
was
where
not too intense.
They had like the glide things, and there's like they're all hooked together and they kind of circle.
No, that's a Dragon Racers Rally.
Okay.
Which you're supposed to be able to barrel roll the dragon.
Yeah, and you said it wasn't that great.
I didn't do it. I was afraid being up there, so I didn't spin it, and it was really fast. Okay. I mean, I think kids will love that one. I don't know if I would do it again.
Okay.
No, I mean the actual coaster, because they have a roller coaster also, the Hiccup Swing gliders. Yeah, it's nice. So I've done that one now during the day and at night. I think I like the nighttime just because of the views that you get at night from that one. Yeah.
That world looks super detailed. That looks Pandora-esque to me.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Okay. And I was surprised. I ended up liking that one best. And I'm not a huge fan of that franchise. Yeah. So I don't know much about it. I actually watched the second How to Train Your Dragon on my flight back from Disneyland. It was on the plane. I said, I've never seen this, and we're getting ready for Epic. Maybe I should watch it. And I liked it. And then I saw the third one on Netflix. So I had seen the 3 of them. Okay. But yeah, no, the world is beautiful. They did such a wonderful job with the dragons. I didn't get to see the show either. The show closed down on us. Like they shut down the last 2 shows of the day. So I haven't seen The Untrainable Dragon. Something also, to look forward to. But yeah, that land is beautiful. They did such a great job.
How many days do you think you need to be able to feel like you hit almost everything in all the portals? Would you need 3 days to get through to make sure? Because
no.
Okay.
My friend Lee said, look, we knocked it out in a day. I said, yeah, but we paid for the express passes. And we also were kind of fortunate because opening day, they capped capacity. Gotcha. So I don't think there were even 10,000 people in there. And that park is supposed to hold 40, 50.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, everything was really available. I mean, we hopped on Minecart Madness in like 15, 20 minutes. So I think it was a waste of money for us to spend $280 on that express pass that day. But we just thought it was going to be so packed on opening day. At least we wanted to try and ride some stuff. So we said, all right, let's do it. Shouldn't have done it, but now that they've opened up the capacity, I'm telling my guests, I think you should. And the prices have come down a little bit. I was noticing August, September, it's a lot more reasonable. Now we're talking $180, still more than tickets, but not $300 like it has been. But I just had a guest go, and they stayed at Stellanova, walked across the street, like I told them all that. And he said, without that express pass, we would have had a miserable day. And our day went perfect because we were able to line up in that special line that, only those folks that have the express get into. So he said, I definitely would order that express pass again. Because at first he was like, oh my God, I don't want to spend it's like buying another ticket. I said, yeah, but the thing is, you want to be able to ride stuff and without having to stand in those lines for 2 hours or whatever.
Yes, that's not something I will do. I will not stand in lines for the 2 rides or the couple of rides that aren't part of that pass. If I saw the clock for Ministry was up to like 3.5 hours or something the one day. Like who?
Insane. Yeah.
Would not do it.
I split. We saw the line, it closed down and we said, we're going somewhere else. I'm hungry. I'm getting a headache. We're out of here.
Yeah.
But the ride is incredible. It is
Your
so
face
cool.
after it.
Oh my gosh. Funny. I was telling my friend Lee, because all these vloggers that we watch were like, that's the best ride in the world. And that's why I asked him, so what do you think, best ride in the world? He's like, no, it was cool, but not best ride in the world. but it was really, really surprising. Best of the Harry Potter attractions for sure.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
That room
definitely
was
beats the other
insane.
two. Yep.
Like the lobby room where you're waiting with the green tiles, that was really cool.
All built, to scale, full scale. And that's kind of what the attraction feels like too. So you're
Okay.
on the attraction in these massive rooms without needing 3D or any of that kind of stuff. Very, very impressive. Is it worth 3 hours? No, I would never wait 3 hours for anything. But I don't know.
Oh, that's really good. All right, Nintendo and Harry Potter. So with Super Nintendo World and Ministry of Magic side by side, do they each hold their own thematically, or do they feel like two worlds fighting for attention?
Actually, I think Super Nintendo World is more impressive. It's so unique. It's so cool. I mean, it's a little bit of overload in there because you have that little Mario music going on. After a while, it drives you bananas. But I mean, Paris is Paris, and I had just been to Paris, so it was cool to see Paris.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it doesn't feel somehow as magical as the other, like seeing Hogwarts in the distance, or even the bank at the other park. But it's nice to walk through and see the little magical details. But I think thematically, the other one takes it. Super Nintendo. I mean, it's just fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'm not a huge gamer or anything like that. But yeah, that land, it's impressive.
Well, I love that they built up around the floor where you're walking. Like everything's above you, and you have to look like all the blocks. They literally put you in to the game where you'd have to hop up to the blocks just like Mario would to get to a higher spot. And then you have Yoshi's Ride kind of walking around and things like that up top. Which is
it was really cute. That one's very cute. The downside to all that is when you get to the attractions, there are so many stairs. So when you do, what is it, Mario Kart, you're in the queue, and then all of a sudden you get to this section where it's like up these stairs and then down these stairs, and a lot of stairs at Epic.
Okay.
How to Train Your Dragon has that also at the coaster, and Ministry of Magic has these long hallways that feel like they go on forever. It feels like you're walking through the Louvre or something. And all of a sudden you hit this section where it's up these stairs and then down these stairs. And
interesting.
Lots of stairs at Epic. And I think I know why it is, because I was like, what are they doing with all these stairs? These rides that are that Kuka arm, I think you've been on Forbidden Journey, because they're raised so high, the floor is elevated. So everything is built high. And that has to do with why you're taking the stairs and then coming down, to, I guess, board the attraction or whatever. But I'm trying to think if Monsters Unchained had... I think that queue is a little different. I don't remember as many stairs in that attraction at Dark Universe. But definitely the other ones have a ton of stairs. Yeah. At Super Nintendo, How to Train Your Dragon, and Ministry. Yeah.
Is Yoshi's Ride just a Nintendo version of the People Mover?
Yeah. It just does nothing. It goes around in a circle. Actually, the People Mover, I think you actually see more. It's got a nice view up there, but it feels, I think that attraction should have gone around a little more. It feels like they cut it in half, and it goes into this building and you're done. So, I mean, I think little kids will love it because there's all kinds of Yoshis, and there's a little game you can play in the card itself, like find the egg or whatever, which ours wasn't working, so we didn't do it. But yeah, it's quick, and it could have been a little longer. That one. Interesting, in California, they don't even have that. So over there in Universal Hollywood, they've just got Mario Kart. So there's no Donkey Kong Country. Japan has that one, the Donkey Kong Country, which I think was my favorite part, really, because just the vibe and the music in the Donkey Kong section, very, very cool. And the attraction was nice. It had a lot of little surprises. It's bumpy, that one.
I remember you saying that.
Minecart Madness, it is bumpy. So it hits these curves where it just kind of, I love the way the camera follows.
Yeah, the camera kept up with you.
Yeah, it hits these curves and you kind of bang the side of the cart itself. But I mean, nothing that crazy or too intense. But yeah, it is probably the bumpiest there at Epic.
That's good to know. Yeah, I was a huge Donkey Kong fan. So that game I played a lot of. So I will love that. And very
Donkey Kong,
about that world.
Yeah, we were gonna pose with Donkey Kong for pictures, and they ended it, and he walked back. And It's like, of course, when it's our turn, they cut the line like right in front of us, and he's got to go
Yeah.
take his banana break or whatever. So we never got to see Donkey Kong or pose with Donkey Kong. But I mean, especially living in Orlando, I'm going to have so many opportunities to visit the park and do different
Yeah.
things. And so whatever we missed, I'll get to do it next
Yeah.
time.
That's really cool.
It is a
The
really nice land. Yeah, I really liked that one.
So I just want to take a second to break into this podcast episode and give you some real insight on Outer Rim Travels and Hank, who I'm speaking to right now. So I use Hank pretty much every time I plan trips to Disney World, Disneyland, never been there yet, Universal, or any of the cruises, which I haven't been on yet. But anything to deal with Disney or Universal, I get a hold of Outer Rim Travels at outerrimtravels.com and use Hank. The reason I love him, one, I don't want to have to deal with all the headache of setting the timers for when I can book restaurants, staying up, getting up early, staying up late for all these reservations that sometimes are tough to get into. He does everything. You send him an email, you tell him what you're interested in, when you're interested in going, what special things you would like to get into, what dinners you'd be interested in, and he sets all of his calendars to do his best to get into things that are very hard to get into. And he has pretty much gotten us into everything we've ever wanted. So if you are newer to the Disney Universal world and I know the cost of entry into that world is quite difficult, use Hank. If you don't know, which we will talk about in this episode, Disney and Universal tickets already have the help for planners already built into the cost. So you don't have to pay anything out of pocket. It's already built into the Disney Universal side of things. So Hank gets paid by Disney and Universal to plan vacations for people. So it will cost you no money. All you have to do is communicate back and forth with him based on things that you want. So you can reach out to him at outerrimtravels.com. I ran into him when we went to the Star Wars Hotel when it was still open way back when. He got us in very, very early in the queue. So I was super happy with that. And we've been using him ever since. So about 4 or 5 years now. And he's absolutely wonderful. And the people that work with him are absolutely wonderful. So he has a great channel as well on YouTube. So check him out, outerrimtravels.com. If you don't feel like dealing with all this stuff yourself, give him a shout. Let's get back to the podcast. The park plays with lighting, fountains, and evening ambiance. From your preview, does it transform After Dark into like the fountains and everything? Is that a must see for the nighttime? Should you stick around? Should you? And really, I'm looking for like planning your day around rides and stuff to catch some of this ambiance surroundings for the nighttime.
Yeah, that's why it's so nice to have Helios right there. You can take a break and then come back at night. I don't know if it's a must do because at least not right now, there's no fireworks show. I think because Epic is kind of in the city and there's a lot of houses and apartments in the area. I think it's a zoning issue with fireworks. The fountain show is beautiful and it goes through all the songs. So you'll have the Mario music, it kind of cycles through and the score that Danny Elfman wrote for Dark Universe. Very cool. The lighting package and that fountain show is super nice. And that's kind of the last thing they do. And then the park, closes for the evening. But I mean, even if you're at Stella Nova, you can walk over and relax a little bit, maybe grab a bite and then come over and catch the show at night. Or hang out at Dark Universe. Because like I said, it's a completely different thing at night. That fog and all that works at night, much better. I've seen it in other vloggers' videos and I'm like, gotta go do that at night. It just looks so cool at night. Yeah.
Okay. Between the Victorian Aquarium, Pan Asian, Neon Dragon Spot, and the Tavern Fair, where would you take your dream guests and why? With the food situation between the parks, where was your favorite?
Oh my gosh. Surprisingly, the food was very, very good at Epic. And not to trash other Universal spots, but I'm not a huge Universal food fan. I do like certain things like Three Broomsticks and the fish and chips at the Wizarding World and things like that. But the restaurants inside, I usually opt for eating outside, at the original parks. Here, the food was awesome, no matter where we went. From the mac and cheese cones to the stuff we had at Dark Universe. I didn't try the steak or anything, too fancy, but you can tell that they put time into creating these menus for Epic Universe, not only so that they match the theme, but so that the stuff tastes good. The little French cafe at the Wizarding World was fantastic.
Yeah.
A little crazy that tiny piece of quiche was $20, but they give you some butterbeer to go with it.
Yeah.
But it tasted very, very good. And the butterbeer crepe, so all the stuff we've had there.
I know Lee was very impressed with the food.
Yeah, yeah, and he's super picky.
Dude,
Yeah, he's
he's
super
my
picky.
favorite because you always ask his opinion because it's always like, yeah, whatever.
I know he's he's like the opposite of me. I usually like stuff, and he's like, no, no.
Yeah, he's a
But
tough crowd.
Alexandra had the French onion soup, and she said it was really, really good. So
Good.
I want to try that next time. Some more stuff there in Wizarding Paris. But I have not eaten yet at the Blue Dragon or the Atlantic. I want to do
Okay.
that at some point. Some vloggers that I trust and that I've actually met, in in real life, loved the Blue Dragon. They
Okay.
loved the Pan Asian food. And the other one, they said it's really nice. It's very upscale, and great views of the lagoon and all that kind of stuff. But they would go with the Blue Dragon if they had
Okay.
to pick, between those two. So those are the two, sit down restaurants. Everything else is going to be quick service.
Okay. Great.
Even though it's very cool because it doesn't feel like quick service. You show up and you have your reservation in the app. All you have to do is put in your table number, sit down, and they bring the food out to you.
Oh, that's kind of wonderful.
It works really conveniently. I don't know if you guys did that at Minion Cafe over at Universal Florida. So it's kind of like that, where you set everything up in the app. You make your order, everything, put your table number, and they'll bring it to you. And it didn't even take that long because Lee's a complainer. If it would have taken too long, he'd be like, "Come on, it's been a year. We're still sitting here. What is going on?" But the food came out quick, and the same at Dark Universe. The food came out really quick, and everything was nice and warm, so nothing cold either. No, very, very impressed. Yeah, with the food over there, and I'd like to try a few more things. I have to try different things. I always tend to order like the same stuff to be safe,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna try some different stuff on the next visit over there.
The little like mushroom shaped little bread things you got in the Nintendo World looked amazingly delicious. I don't know if they were like little garlic things or whatever, but they looked really good.
Yeah. And that worked really nice too, because in Hollywood, my sister and I had a really hard time in Hollywood. You had to make a reservation ahead of time, and then they don't let you in to the restaurant until your reservation time, not even like 5 minutes, early. Once inside, you're waiting in a queue to place the order. Then you wait in another queue to sit down. It was just ridiculous. By the time we got our food, it was like 2 hours later. It's like, I'm over this place. Let's go somewhere else. But this works like I was telling you. You place your order in the app, you go inside and find a table and they bring you your food.
Okay.
The only thing that was a little weird is I ordered the mushroom soup and they kind of watch you because I said, well, I want to take a picture of it. Can I do that? They said, yeah, take your picture. I did my little filming and took the picture, and then they took the top and ran off with the little mushroom top because I guess people steal them. People think they can keep the little bowl. But yeah, that was a little weird. I did pay for the bowl in Hollywood, though.
Okay.
So over there, you had that option, and they package it for you in a little question mark cube and everything.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and here I don't think they're doing that yet. So,
okay. So
they'll just come for your little mushroom soup top.
Mm-hmm. Quick service food is definitely worth the time, spending some time eating in Epic. So that's good to know.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because
it doesn't really feel like quick service. It feels like you're in a nice restaurant. Yeah. Which is
that's
surprising.
What I was a little worried about with going to Universal. Like the food at Disney is incredible. They're constantly changing. It's always very good. And I've read about Universal and the parks not that great. They said actually the restaurants in the hotels are probably your best option. I think you told me that, or City Walk. Like that's where you want to go.
City Walk, yeah. City Walk definitely has some great restaurants, and a lot of the hotels have nice dining venues compared to inside the park themselves. Well, the original parks. So Epic is definitely taking it to another level with the food.
Great. Well,
definitely.
Another thing out of Disney's side of the thing. That's one of my favorite parts about it, is that the food is always on point. So good.
Yep.
As a travel planner insider, you likely uncovered small details like Easter egg storytelling, nods, and unique services. What surprised you the most about Epic Universe? Anything from either your planning day or your visit that you were like, oh man, I'm going to make sure people know about this because it was really cute, cool, awesome, whatever.
I mean, what really surprised me is that kind of Disney level of immersion, because I was expecting, this is going to be cool, but wasn't expecting to be thrown in to those worlds like we were, and also how thematically and on point all the foods were. So that really surprised me too. Everything was just not only delicious, but it really fit the world, each different portal that you step through. I found all the cast members, I guess, because it's a brand new park. Everybody was very happy and really just pleased to be there. And
Sure.
so nice just walk in that first day and everybody's, waving hello and excited to open the new park. I tend to find at the original parks, the team members are kind of like, yeah, okay, we've been here a long time, and they're a little more over it,
Yeah.
where that's kind of frowned upon at Disney. Cast members, are encouraged to be smiley and happy, and Universal doesn't necessarily
No
enforce
pressure
that,
there.
Right. But here it was completely natural, brand new park. Everybody was happy, and I'm sure thrilled to be working, at the new park. So yeah, everybody very, very nice. And I always tell folks, don't take it out on the team members that a ride goes down, because I did see someone screaming at a team member, oh, we've been waiting. It's not their fault. Stuff happens, and you got to pivot and do something else, and come back a little later. It's a brand new park, and I've seen so many complaints I'm in different Facebook groups, and I'm in this one of the bigger groups, and it was like negative complaint after negative complaint after and I finally posted, geez, don't you guys have anything nice to say? This is what my day was like. And yeah, it rained, but you get past that. You're visiting a new park, and it's all brand new. Stuff is going to happen,
Right.
but yeah, as far as little things, I've heard, and I can't off the top of my head, I've heard so many cool little stories about Celestial Park, and how like Doc Brown has visited Celestial Park, and he's got the flux capacitor at the back of the Stardust racers. Did you see that?
No.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
Yeah. Yeah. So Doc Brown is one of these travelers that came through Celestial Park and helped with the technology for a Stardust racer. So at the back of the ride vehicle, you're going to see the flux capacitor at the back of each of the little trains. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And the same with Pizza Moon, the pizza restaurant. The proprietor there is someone that stumbled across Celestial Park and just loved it so much he stayed and opened his business. And there's a whole story in the restaurant.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, they did a really good job making that its own kind of world. Because you think about the portals and you're thinking, okay, there's the 4 worlds, but Celestial Park is kind of its own portal. Yeah, its own world itself. Yeah.
The restaurant in the dark universe that you guys ate at, like, the theming was insane inside.
So cool, yeah. And every once in a while it goes red because the master. I asked one of them, because they're all vampire familiars that work in the restaurant. And I asked him, what does that mean? That means the master is close. I'm like, oh, okay.
It's almost like...
and they're in character,
It's almost eating at like the Toy Story barbecue. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
When everybody shows up, everybody freezes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah, so here really it turns red, and yeah. So Dracula is nearby. No, very cool. Just that whole the ambiance there, the vibe in that restaurant, so nice. I definitely want to try a few more things there. I will say both Lee and I were really surprised the next morning when we had to use the bathroom to find that stuff glowed. If you catch my meaning. So the dye in those black buns makes stuff glow when you go to the bathroom. It's a really weird color. So I texted him. I'm like, hey, do you have some weird? And he's like, yes. So, I don't think we'll be eating the black buns in the future, maybe the steak. But that was an interesting surprise.
I think Burger King had that same problem when they came out with with like the weird colored and the crazy ketchup and stuff like that. So that's really funny.
That was really weird.
Some planners say the ride enthusiasts can breeze through in under a day. Based on your experience, can you enter Epic in 8 hours, or does the magic take longer?
I mean, to really enjoy it, I felt like we could have stayed a little longer, because we did breeze through everything. And like I said, we had the Express. You can do it. If you've got the Express, you can knock everything out if you're focused on rides. If you really want to enjoy each portal and the different foods and go through the little stores and things, I would say 2 days. At least 2 days to really enjoy. Maybe do 2 portals on one day and then 2 portals the next day and split it up that way. Yeah.
Which two worlds would you put together?
I would put probably Super Nintendo with How to Train Your Dragon.
Ooh,
do those 2. Yeah.
Any
do
specific
those
reason?
2. I don't know. I think that they're a little more for younger kids. So there's a
Okay.
little more fun kind of to be had there. And I feel like the other two are a little more serious, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So the Wizarding World feels a little more grown up. And yeah, you've got your spells and all that kind of stuff. But I think you have to be a certain age to really enjoy Wizarding Paris, to me, in
Yeah.
my opinion. And I don't have a new wand or anything, so I didn't do the spells. But Alex did, and she had fun trying some of those spells and things. But yeah, that feels like a land. It feels also like an attraction is missing because I think they cut one out. So there's one whole section to the right that was supposed to be a second attraction, which I guess will come in the future. So it feels like something's missing, but it feels like a little more of an adult land. And the same with Dark Universe. It feels a little more grown up, even though they have the makeup thing for the kids, which is cute. They can be Werewolf and Frankenstein to have that makeup thing. But yeah, those two feel a little more grown up, and the other two are a little more playful and a little more,
Okay.
yeah, for kids. So
Did you-
front half of the park and then the back half of the park.
Yeah. Did you run? Did you go on the boat ride that you shoot water guns? Did you go on that?
No,
Okay.
I didn't. No,
I've heard like really mixed reviews with that as well. Like
I've heard you get soaked.
You've heard it
and
here,
Lee's the
folks.
kind of guy. Yeah, and Lee's the kind of guy that wears ponchos, on Tiana's Bayou Adventure because he doesn't like to get wet. But now in the summer is the perfect time. If I
That's
get
true.
to go back, I'm hoping I go back, now sometime in August, and I want to try all that stuff. And I also want to do Volcano Bay and do some of the water parks because, yeah, it's just so hot. This is the perfect time to do all that. All that
No,
stuff.
that's
But
really
yeah,
good.
I did hear from another vlogger that got drenched on that. What is it called? Fire drill. That's fire drill. Yeah.
Okay.
But kids would have a ball on that.
Yeah, that's very true. Well, I mean, I
Yeah.
probably would as well. It's just like I also hate being soaked when you're trying to do other stuff. Like it's kind of the worst when you're walking around as an adult.
Yeah, with the soggy shoes. That's the problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Having your soggy sneakers and socks the whole day. Yeah.
It's the main. I've never ridden. What's the Animal Kingdom ride? Rapids something. I've never ridden that.
Yeah, the Cali River Rapids. Oh, I love it. I love that one. But I
Okay.
always end up on the side where that waterfall drenches you when it turns around and the waterfall, falls on your head. Somehow I'm always on that side. But you have to be ready for it and you wear your flip-flops or you bring them in a bag or whatever.
Yeah, that's fair.
Instead of having your sneakers drenched all day.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What's your top 3 rides there in Epic?
Surprisingly, number 1 was Monsters Unchained. I thought it was going to be Battle at the Ministry, but I loved the one at Dark Universe. So
Get
Monsters
out.
Unchained, yeah, that's my number 1. I would say probably because I haven't done Stardust, that would probably be up there. But I would say Hiccup's Wing Glider and then Battle at the Ministry.
Okay.
Mostly because, and it's a cool ride, but it's got a lot of screens and things too. And I'm not huge on those attractions with screens.
Okay.
So a lot better, like I said, than the original, Harry Potter's. And I think the one at Gringotts Bank has 3D glasses. I think that one's a 3D. So you don't need 3D glasses or any of that stuff. But yeah, there's some screens involved. And I get it. That's the only way they can kind of simulate those elevators, running through the ministry and all that. And yeah, some really cool parts to that. But I don't know. I just think they really nailed it with Monsters Unchained. And
Interesting.
the Hiccup Wing Gliders, just the views you get from that coaster when you're on it. And it kind of, parts of it reminded me of the Incredicoaster out at California Adventure. Because when you're up there, you can see the entire park and you can see all of Pixar Pier and even the hotels in the background. So yeah, some great views on that coaster. And it's got some surprises too that I'm not going to spoil. But
Sure.
That coaster has, some nice, you've done Hagrid's, right?
I have not.
You haven't done Hagrid's? Oh,
No.
That one's got a big surprise. So something similar to that.
Okay.
I think you'd like that one. You think
I plan
that
on going on that for sure. Once again, I was there since I was 11. So last thing I remember from Universe was Jaws scaring the absolute shit out of me.
Oh, wow.
That's not even a ride anymore.
I know, that one's gone. They still have it in Hollywood though.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So I've never seen any of the Harry Potter stuff. I mostly haven't seen. I haven't done any of the Jurassic Park stuff, and I love Jurassic Park. So this is all going to be very, very new and very exciting for me this November.
Oh, awesome. Oh, okay. No, yeah, then you're going to have a ball because it's all going to be brand new. But yeah, definitely take some time to explore the Wizarding Worlds and
okay.
I would say of those two, probably the Gringotts Bank is the one that's a little more intense.
Okay.
That's the one where, in the movies, you travel
Yep.
through these caverns and things. And
Yep.
so that one's a little more intense than the one in Hogwarts. But the Hogwarts Castle is such a cool walkthrough.
Yeah.
So it really feels like, there's so much to see inside that one. But yeah, Ministry is still the most impressive when you walk into that building. Mm-hmm.
The other thing you said in your review on YouTube is the screens were so clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really, it must be
For
new
some
tech.
reason, I think that, the technology back when they did a Forbidden Journey, the Wizarding World, they feel stretched. So it kind of reminded me, when you see the Eiffel Tower in Soarin' and it had that twist that they recently fixed.
Yeah.
So the characters, Harry and Draco Malfoy, they all kind of look kind of warped when you're on that attraction. I tend to like the sections that have like real world, elements in it. So I don't want to spoil it for you, but there are set pieces where they're there and it's not screens. So I tend to like that stuff. But the screens in Monsters Unchained, they blend so well with the foreground and, with the actual, what is it, like where, like you have the kind of the monster in the foreground, and then let's say Dracula and then his brides are on screens floating behind him.
Sure.
But it feels like one whole piece, cool. Really well done. Yeah.
Top 3 foods you ate there.
The mac and cheese cones are so good, surprisingly. And I don't love mac and cheese, but I got the one that had the pork, shredded pork. Delicious. Let me see. The chicken sandwich was okay at Dark Universe. I probably won't do that one again. Not just because of the bun, but it was just a regular chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
What else did we have? Yeah, that mushroom soup is a definite must at Super Nintendo World.
Yeah.
I love that soup, and it was just as good as I remember from Hollywood. I don't know. I feel like I've only had little bits and pieces of stuff. That garlic steak that they have at the tavern in Dark Universe was very good. It's kind of like a pretzel bread, but super garlicky with the garlic butter. That was delicious. Yeah. And
I thought the inside of the French bakery or the cafe you guys went to in the French part, I thought that was beautiful inside. That place was
so pretty. Yeah, that cafe is so pretty. Yeah, those butterbeer crepes were good. The only thing is, they're super sweet. So if you don't have a sweet tooth, I mean, we definitely split them both times. I've split it with someone. I don't know if I can eat both of those. It's a lot of butterscotch. But I think I want to try some of the lunch stuff there and the French onion soup and, salads. So, I think that restaurant is probably my favorite once I get into, because I've seen the menu. So once I get into some more stuff at that restaurant, I think that would probably be the one that ends up, being my favorite. I haven't tried a lot of the stuff at Super Nintendo World. Because I remember we did the pasta with meatballs in Hollywood, and it was okay on the spicy side. We haven't done that big Bowser meatball, but I hear that people seem to like it. So that one is in the burger, big, huge Mario burger or chicken sandwich. It's kind of like your, what do you call it? Chilies or that type of,
So fine, just nothing
typical
over the
type
top.
of food. Nah, nothing that. Yeah, that huge. So probably, probably Paris, I think would be the one that has the most like specific, and if you like French food, the most specific, menu.
Okay. So with me going in November, what is the top 3 things that you would give me as suggestions to make my trip super amazing? Which you always do. So thank you. But
hang out at Dark Universe at night. Yeah. I mean, like we said, probably don't go straight to Harry Potter.
Okay.
One thing that I did notice is if you check the app, because they're supposed to give you push notifications that tell you the ride is back up, and those come so late that the ride could have already been up for 20 minutes. And that's when you get your notification. So it's too late. You have to kind of, see if the wait times, if it's showing 15 minutes or whatever, that's how you're going to know, oh, okay, it opened. Ooh. And even after we got our notification, we were already standing in line, for example, which doesn't really help. But kind of, keep checking. If it happens to go down, check to see if there's, times listed and try and head over there as quickly as possible. Then you'll probably get on fast. So Yeah, that's how we managed to do it. I don't know how Lee was looking through the app. He said, "Oh, it's got a time. Let's head over there." And that's how we finally got to ride that one. Um, I would say, I don't remember. Did you get the express on yours?
We did.
Do you have the express passes? So since you have express passes, try and go to the ones that aren't on the express passes. So if you can get there an hour early, I would go and knock out Minecart Madness if you're going to do that one at Donkey Kong Country.
Yep.
Versus waiting for Battle at the Ministry, because Minecart Madness hasn't been going down historically. Yeah, they close it down if there's lightning. It's one of those because it's outdoors, but it's a lot more, efficient. It's running well.
Okay.
So yeah, you should be able to knock that one out, and it's not on the Express. Also not on the Express is Dragon Racers Rally, the one with the barrel rolls where you're, on the dragon. You can do it or not do it. That one's not too big a deal. But maybe try to finish the stuff in Super Nintendo World if you can get into Minecart Madness. And one thing that I feel I've missed on, I don't have a power band. So I want to do that next time. I was like, should I spend the $50? I don't know. We don't have the time. And so I haven't bought the power band. But my sister, they recently went out to Japan, and they went out there to Universal and Disney in Tokyo. They got the power-up bands, and the kids loved it. And they collected all the stuff, and they played all the little mini games. So she was telling me last weekend, it really changed the experience at that land.
Okay, that's good. That's good
she said it was like a game, within the game. And we had so much fun playing all those little games. So I feel like I've missed out on that because I haven't done that part yet. You can get those right at the entrance too. So they're not selling them. Actually, I think they may be selling them now at City Walk because they've opened, I haven't seen it yet. They've opened a new Universal store that even has a butterbeer shop. So I want to try and go there next. But yeah, if you can get yours and have it all linked up to the app and all that, the Power Band, there's also a little store right outside Super Nintendo on the right next door to that, where you can get the Power Up Bands there or inside the world, the land itself. But yeah, that could be cool. And we tend to leave How to Train Your Dragon for last. I'm not sure why, maybe because it's the one we're least familiar with. But I would do that early.
Okay.
Also because, and like I said, it kind of fits with Super Nintendo. So maybe do kind of that front part of the park. And then if you see the attractions for Battle at the Ministry, it's online, maybe head over to that section. But I think that area requires a little more strolling and, kind of looking at the posters and go into the Le Goblet Noir, which is a little dark wizard's restaurant that they have some really cool foods in there. I want to try they have like a bratwurst, and they have a baklava in there. So different kind of foods for, Wizarding World stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So that one's cool. And then I don't know if you would, that wouldn't leave you like the whole day to go into Dark Universe at night. So you might do, Dark Universe in the day and then maybe come back and do that in the evening. But that's the one that you definitely need to see at night. Yeah, Dark
Does
Universe.
each of the worlds have their own like store where you can go in and get really themed stuff for the land?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The Wizarding World has a French store, which we met the owner. She's one of the characters, Cosme Acajur. And she's this French, really kind of classy French lady. And she'll tell you, no, I'm not like Ollivander. I don't believe the wand chooses the wizard here. You choose your wand, my dear. That kind of thing. So Alex looked around and she dropped the $70 for the wand. And yeah, it was very cool. So they have wands that are very specific to Wizarding Paris that you can only buy there. Yeah. And then they have kind of the second generation that you can use anywhere. So each land definitely has its own. There's a one-up factory at Super Nintendo World that's huge with all whatever you can think of: shirts, caps, mugs, towels, bed sheets, all kinds of toys and things. Yeah, huge one there. And How to Train Your Dragon has a nice little sweets shop that's really cool, and they have some taffy and some chocolate, like these chocolate pops that are really good. And what about in Dark Universe? There's there's a small shop in there. I would say that's probably the smallest at Dark Universe. But some of that stuff you can get in the main stores. So in Celestial Park, you've got a couple of stores right there at the front that kind of has all the, the merch from all the different portals. Yeah, lots of stuff to buy. You just want to buy it all, but
Well, I think I'm gonna wait till I go through the 4 worlds and then decide which one's my favorite, and then probably get something from there. Be like, represent, because like I have so many of those Epcot jersey sweatshirts because it's my favorite park over there, and it's like,
okay.
Yeah. So I don't think that is all of my questions. Is there anything that I didn't ask or miss that you would want everyone to know if they're planning or looking to go, or maybe looking at it saying, oh man, I wish I knew that?
No, I mean, I think the biggest is they seem to be, and my guests seem to be like really, they shy away from the Helios because there's a lot of negative reviews, kind of what we were talking about. It's kind of standard, but it's just so convenient. And when I walked into my room and opened that door, and the freaking park is right there. And at night when you get back, how beautiful everything looks from your window.
Yeah.
If you have a park view, it's kind of magical. It really is beautiful. So I wouldn't spend $800 a night, to be honest. It's a little above my price range. I'll probably stay at Stella Nova. But if those prices, or once they kind of stabilize and we're talking $400, $500, I would definitely stay there every time, because just that convenience. You get tired, it rains, you just hop into the hotel, boom, you're there, and yeah, you can't beat it.
Do you have to have a reservation to get into the hotel?
No, you can dine there, and they validate your parking, because right now I think they're charging like $125 if you park there, because they don't want folks parking to enter. And at security, they also check your key card to make sure you're a guest. So they don't want folks, from other parks hopping over and, taking that entrance. But yeah, you can take a bus over from City Walk and dine at their Flora Taverna, or go up to Bar Helios, and no problem. And if you do end up parking, they validate your parking as long as you've, dined at one of the establishments there. But yeah, you can check out the hotel and just walk around and experience it. But I mean, I would say it really surprised me. I think it's Universal at a different level. I think it definitely is competing, and they spent billions, definitely competing with Disney. So I think you guys are going to enjoy it. I think you're going to like it a lot. And combined with going to the original parks that you haven't been to in years, it's going to be a very cool trip.
Cool.
Definitely.
Well, thank you. I think I'm super pumped, especially because I feel like I was going to Disney 5 years ago, whatever it was, when we went back for the first times. I'm sure we're gonna have a blast. So thank you for answering all the questions. I'll keep watching your videos and tell Lee he's my ultimate favorite. I love how everything is basic to him. I love it.
That's so cool, because he hates being on camera. I have to, before we take a trip, I have to kind of ask him, are you all right to be in this vlog or whatever? And most of the time he's like, no, don't film me. But if we take a cruise or something, then he'll say, okay, yeah, fine. Yeah. I'll play along. But yeah.
Tell him he's got a fan out there, and I love that he gives it straight every time.
Yeah. I'm going to tell him, because maybe that'll encourage him to be on camera a little more, Yeah. It took me a while to get comfortable. I've been doing it now for a couple of years, so now I'm a little more comfortable. But yeah, we got some stuff coming up, so he'll be on camera. He's one of my revolving cast of characters. Can you imagine we've been friends since the 3rd grade?
No, that's amazing.
Yeah, his mom was our teacher in 3rd grade.
Oh my gosh.
So that's how long we've known each other. It's like, he's like my brother.
You guys are such a yin and yang, because you're so excited about stuff, and then you cut to him and he's like, that's all right. I'm like,
yeah, I know. It's so funny. That's true. It's a trip.
It was awesome. Well, once again, Hank, Outer Rim Travels. Hank, I want to give you the platform. Where can everybody find you if they want to get a hold of you? They want to say, I don't want to have to worry about all this stuff. I'm going to call you, and I'm going to email you and get a hold of you.
OuterRimTravels.com is the main website. And then I'm Hank's Travels on all the other platforms. So if you do hankstravels.com, it takes you to my YouTube channel, where I vlog and film all my trips. And now, moving to Orlando, I'm going to be vlogging a little more consistently.
I'm very excited for you.
I hope to do a lot of more tips and trick videos, because I always feel like I don't have enough time. And now I will have the time to plan it out and to really help folks, plan their trip out. Some of this stuff we talked about. I'll now be able to dedicate a video to it. Yeah, so it's going to be fun. So hankstravels.com for the YouTube, and Outer Rim Travels to book your trip with me. And I can give you all these tips and tricks, and so much for the cruising. It's funny because I just booked someone and she said, I would have never even thought of this stuff you're telling me. And that's kind of the whole point. You don't know what you don't know.
Correct.
Which is really funny. So she said, I'm so happy that I reached out to you. And I'm like, me too. I love doing this stuff, and I love helping folks, plan their perfect trip. So gotta get you on a Disney ship.
I know. Jenny and I have been talking about it quite a bit because we're just not very big into cruise people, but it's just
she's
different.
Gonna love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you really, didn't watch
those are Disney people.
Yeah.
Which is what's nice. Yeah. About those cruises. And I'm not huge on beaches and things like that either, but it's like this all in one, experience with the entertainment, the foods, and everything's just there for you. You know?
Yeah, if the food's anything like the parks, then I think we would have a good time. But
better, Palo. Oh my God, I'm already booked for Palo for our September cruise on the Dream.
Nice.
I grab it as soon as it opens up. It's a must. Yeah.
So if you didn't hear the first time that Hank was on the podcast, what I do want to remind people is Universal and Disney, you don't pay for this service. It's already baked into everything. So you can just contact, because perfect example, when we took my sister and my nephews this year, it's a lot. The cost of entry of knowledge to do this stuff is a lot. Yeah. Disney's always changing. Universal has a new park. You don't know when can I go in, when can I not, where should I stay, what should I not, we email back and forth probably 100 times when I'm leading up to my trip, just because I want to make sure that everything's prepped, and a lot of it can be taken care of, and it's no extra cost to you. It is part of Universal and Disney's kind of package. It's what you pay in the ticket price anyway.
Yeah, that's right. I always forget to say that, so thank you. Because
no problem.
People always expect, it's a travel agent, we're going to pay a travel agent fee, and no, Disney or Universal pays me. But you guys have a really nice hotel, because Royal Pacific, it's definitely my favorite of those originals. So yeah, and I like it better than Helios, even though Helios is the new shiny thing. The vibe there it's very kind of Polynesian. So
I love
it's
that.
Very cool there. Yeah.
So if you are thinking about this, or you want to know more, obviously just reaching out to Hank is the best way, and you can ask literally whatever questions. And the other reason I love working is because I don't have to wait. I just say, hey, these are the things I want to get into, and then the time. You set alarms. You do. It's the only way I got into the Star Wars Hotel is you were up at 5 a.m. on the call getting us in. So thank you for all your help, as always.
My pleasure. Yeah. And people are like, no, I don't want to bother you. It's no bother, because I really do enjoy doing this stuff. I was up at midnight booking, the onboard activities for our guests on, her upcoming cruise. And to me, I love it. It's not a problem at all.
Cool. Well, thank you for coming on once again and sharing all of your knowledge. Cool.
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah.
We'll talk again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. It will be right around the corner. I'm sure more questions coming. Thank you, everybody, and we'll catch you on the next one.